Stand and deliver. Shadows. Secret lovers, Mary Gregory and John Faulkner, lay in the leaves in the forest admiring a lovely autumn day. John said to his love, "I have never seen anything so beautiful. I could forget everything and live here in this moment forever." Her brother saw them there weeks before. He opened his eyes and saw the reality. His best friend John was as good as dead because of him. Like his sister, Sir Thomas Gregory had killed her himself, without even knowing it was her. John was hanging from a noose at Tyburn, struggling to live. It took 5 minutes for him to succumb to the noose. His grieving relative walked over and claimed his body, but he hung there for half a day because the law wanted to make an example of him. They wouldn't let him have his body, no matter who he was. His relative was his only living relative, his cousin, the Earl of Essex. The king's friend, like the dead highwayman, was. John's body lay in the pub for a day, till he was buried deep down to deter grave robbers who struck and were caught. His body was returned to the same grave, with lime to deter further robberies. His grave was a treasure to the town. They had him there. Ladies would leave him trinkets and flowers, till it was banned as an indecent act. After he was reburied, Sir Thomas visited his grave to grieve. 2 men he recognised joined him. One was the Earl of Essex, the other was a surprise to him. The unknown man who betrayed the dead man and his sister to him. "What do you want?" asked the heartbroken Sir Thomas, not wanting to see the man who betrayed his sister and friend again. He looked as miserable as Sir Thomas was. "Where is your sister buried?" asked the Earl. Her body was stolen by grave robbers too. She wasn't found. Sir Thomas said. He was crying as he spoke. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I was angry with him," said the betrayer, shocked. Cousin really loved her. I'm dying inside knowing they couldn't rest together, said the Earl, who knew her in life as a fellow road agent. He rode with and considered a friend. John is all I have left now to grieve for, with Mary gone, said the crying brother. He was my best friend. Ours too, said the Earl, his voice breaking. He's a hard act to follow, now he's gone. John was to the world a famous actor who played a highwayman on the stage as Sir Justin Beaufort. And moonlighted as a real one with his cousin and friend. The former Captain Terry Norton, his betrayer. Terry had been dishonourably discharged from the army for hiding a criminal, John. Later the Earl, aka the Ghost, and his friend Highwayman Terry, the Terror of Essex, tried, I repeat, tried, to hold up a horseman, but they let him go because he reminded them of John. The Earl, the King's friend, was having problems at royal court too. People were calling him the Ghost, as he was seldom seen without his cousin. Like the highwayman, the Ghost. Otherwise, they avoided him as a relative of a criminal, tarring him as a fallen man. The king was not even seeing him, as he had to know who John was, and had been lying to him, and it was not good being seen with the Earl, as he was tainted with the highwayman John, and being related to a fallen man. The Earl found his guise as the blacksmith David Buckingham was now tainted by his patron the Earl. This made the Earl depressed. His life had changed to that of an outcast, and he and Terry were falling out over his betrayal. The Earl knew things had to change. He ran away to Yorkshire and posed as a blacksmith, calling himself Harry Cox. He robbed people as a highwayman to pay for his business when needed. He was caught robbing a coach by a troop of soldiers. He was recognised as the Earl when he was unmasked in front of an old friend of the Earl, and it was surmised he was the Ghost, as he hung out with the highwayman then recently caught, Terror of Essex, and the hung John. They made Terry ID him. As they ended their friendship badly, the Earl had stole a horse to escape from his old life and framed Terry for the crime. It came out. Terry gave him up to the soldiers. They hung the Earl as a common horse thief. Terry was hung as a killer highwayman. The Earl's last words were, "We're coming to join you, Jack."